Hey, it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in a little bit more in depth on a great viewer question. And this is perhaps one of the most popular questions or concerns that I receive here at the Peace and Harmony channel, is really kind of to discuss and look at the anxiety that tends to plague or hold back people or permeate their day when they think about moving through into a relationship and getting to know other people after this has occurred. And especially if the relationship has been going on or integral to your life for years and decades, and then now your identity or your feeling has been organized around this harsh, manipulative relationship. Of course, you're going to feel anxiety. You're going to feel fear and trepidation if your body has rehearsed and played over again and again and again the feeling of fear, the feeling of rage, being manipulated, being controlled, being told what to do. In other words, your inner GPS is not used to working. It is there, but it just has not been dusted off, brushed out, brought out. And so it is to understand that when you're in a relationship with someone who is controlling, a malignant narcissist, a psychopath, someone who is controlling you, oftentimes by very forceful emotions, and you have to be a counterforce to their force. So the way that they look, the things that they say, the belittling, and making you feel less than. And then if you don't agree with them that you are less than, then you have no hope at a relationship. If this person is then integral to your survival, if you don't agree with their negative assessment of you, then you really aren't on board with them. So it's the problem of agreeing and then stating to yourself through the internal commands that you don't have what it takes. You don't have any skill. You don't have any personality. These sort of very, you're not worthwhile being around, so I'm going to cheat on you. You are not enough. These sort of feelings that get digested and then stuck and held in the body then become a chronic trigger. And it's triggering you. It's kind of like a splinter that is underneath the skin, and it always hurts. And so it's like M. Scott Peck, if you have a toothache, all you're going to think about is that ache. So it's like trying to go out and then create relationships, and you've got this sliver, and it's really constantly hurting, and you want to talk about other things, but you're like, I've got this sliver. And then you feel that you have to be dependent on this person. Can you help me get this sliver out so we can have a normal conversation? So it's the feeling that there's unworked issues. In other words, you have this feeling playing through you again and again, like a consistent loop. You're always on edge. You're feeling, you're going to flinch and flail, and that, you have this secret within you that you need to get out. You need to tell people, my mother was so horrible. My father was this. My brother that. My sister this. My spouse. My children. You have this looming secret within you, which is really bottled up. And then you're taking that into your relationships. And then furthermore, it's a fear that you're going to then replay this blueprint in the next relationship. And then, in other words, here I come in the victim shoes. Here I come in the wounded daughter shoes. In other words, I can never rise up. I'm always going to be this wounded daughter, this victimized, being managed and controlled by others. So why would you want to enter into a situation that's going to provoke or trigger more of this fear? So it's to understand that this is normal. Your body is trying to protect itself. But what's important is to slow that roll down, and it's to understand, okay, this has been set in motion from this person, and I am no longer going to perpetuate this. I'm going to consciously put an end to it. And so it's to really, really get control and really objectively understand that this is how someone controlled you earlier in your life, of course, or if it's in the current stage, is to say this is a current force that's creating a situation where I have to be the counter force. I always have to feel like I have to buck up, prove them right, agree with them that I am less than. And so it is to stop agreeing with them and then taking their assessment of you at their face value. So it's really kind of releasing those chains, if you will. It's an emotional chain. It's to say, I'm unlocking the key. I'm taking it off. I'm releasing the layers that have been built up around me. I'm no longer, I'm creating, because if you've been in this relationship that's been hurtful, I think of it kind of like, and I go through a lot of analogies here, and I apologize. A professor in college once told me, you are going to be a creative communicator. So maybe this is what he was alluding to many years ago, but I think you can relate to this. It's kind of like your soul is kind of like a grain of sand that you have, and that's meant to be part of, this universe. You're meant to be here. You are a person. This is an analogy here. But your personhood, you're feeling human, you're feeling joyful, blissful, happy, unimpaired, unhinged from this negative situation. So you're kind of like a grain of sand. And then when you come into, for example, like the pearl, it's like finding yourself in a mollusk, in the shell of another person who does not have the empathy, the awareness, they're always trying to control you. They're not letting you be and like tumble around in life the way that you're meant to be. So, and then to do that, you create, then you take on the shell of this person, and then just like a pearl is formed inside a mollusk, there's that milky substance that is exuded from inside this shell, this oyster, because it's like an irritant. The sand inside the mollusk so it puts a lacquer around to smooth the edges, smooth, and then this pearl eventually is then formed inside that shell around this little grain of sand. And then it's looking like this pearl. So that is kind of like they say the pearl of wisdom. It is to understand that there's something deep within which has caused all this anxiety. And you've had to kind of put around this lacquer, all this defense mechanisms to round yourself out in order to kind of fit in with them or adjust. You've had to conceal yourself because that's what's been required. You've had to conceal yourself. You've had to be less than, and it causes this fear. I understand this very, very much. I do understand where you're coming from, and it's to understand that you kind of need to realize that it's going to be okay for you to break free of all that lacquer, the defense mechanisms, and that people do understand. We hear your stories, we hear you crying out that this was not right, this is not fair. So you need to kind of get that message out and tell people, but telling the right people, like we're doing here on the community, and finding supportive channels where we hear you. I know it is very difficult to go through those abusive relationships and then try to show up in life. You're like, I am wounded. I feel, I am down. I'm depressed. It's hard for me to face things. I can't pick my head up. And so that anxiety, again, is set in forth by that traumatic situation. So it's to realize that and then begin to feel free to shed a lot of those layers. Begin to complain and affirm to yourself, it is okay for me to be me. I am wonderful and I am free and I am magnificent just the way that I am. And I exist in unconditional positive self-regard. Unconditional positive self-regard. I am now nurturing myself where the other could not. I am taking on that responsibility and that role, and I can now calm myself down and work through those stages, even with kid gloves. I can listen to myself, and I'm the best listener of what's going on inside, and I can calm myself down. This is an honor and a privilege to be able to calm myself down and say, okay, I understand that I've been through this battle, and it really does make me fearful. And I'm afraid that this is going to be repeated. So I understand my fears. And when I understand my fears, I am now safe. So it's understanding how that has played out. And they say oftentimes fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's assessing an outcome for an experience that you have not gone through yet. So your mind, your body, which is the subconscious mind, if it's been playing this again and again, it's going to assign this anxiety, it's going to assign an outcome to a situation that has not occurred yet. So it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy. See, look, I fell into the hole. I told you I was going to fall, I was going to walk outside and I was going to fall into this hole. See, I was going to spill my coffee. See, I was going to do this. And so it's, you're trying to speak these fears into existence. So you need to step back and say, wow, I am living this trigger that's still organized around this, dysfunctional person. I'm not going to organize myself around that anymore. So it's like untangling, getting it out, untangling all that's been toiled up and the chaos that has been ensued there, the crazy making. I'm no longer organizing myself around crazy making because it's just to be more of the same. And that is not assisting me to be feeling like I'm doing myself solid, like I'm not doing life solid. And you absolutely positively can. It's saying now that I acknowledge this and acknowledging these fears, I can walk through them. I can move through them. And facing my fears makes them, break through. And so it is to realize what makes you afraid and to really understand it like in the privacy of this video. Are you afraid that someone's going to see you hurt, see you damaged, see you weak, see that you can't perform a specific activity? What is that? I'm so afraid to have eye contact. I'm afraid that you don't know what I've been through. I am not ready for this yet. So this feeling of not being ready is because you need to work through how this has conditioned you or programmed you, just like a software, just like to a computer, that is what has put this into place. So we want to erase the hard drive. And it is okay to erase that. It's okay to erase that and get that out of your system, that blueprint of feelings. So it's okay to not feel the fear. It's okay to feel safe. And you don't have to armor yourself emotionally, to beat off this assailable, dysfunctional people. It's, if that has been absorbed too much, it's time to really clear the hard drive. So it's an awareness of how you are commanding your body to relax. Just like when you deep breathe, it's calling that action. Okay, deep breathe. Not that you're like hyperventilating, but take a deep breath and just relax. Allowing your body to calm down and then say, I am in control. I am safe. I can face my happiness. I can face my fulfillment. I can face my talents. I can face my joys now. Because what really the fear is oftentimes is the fear of success and giving yourself the happiness and making the decisions of what you need versus responding to the fear. So I'm now responding to the health and I'm responding to the positive orderly direction thinking and actually what I need, rather than the junk thoughts, the fear thoughts. I'm responding to this and I'm slowly but surely weaning these away. I'm helping those disengage and I'm not giving nutrients or neurochemicals to those old wires. So that fear is like wired in. And so if you understand that once you stop reinforcing those feelings, they will fade away, they will diminish, they will lessen. So it's like starving that fear. You need to starve the fear and you need to just no longer give energy to that. So it's a conscious working process where you calm down and you say no. Calm it down and say no. Calm it down and say no. So it's like giving yourself a command to not respond to those ruminations that were placed in and just sort of give all that back to the source from which it came. So some people say, they want to throw it to the Christ within, that energy. So you actually kind of want to give it back to the source, If it's a person, just, here you go. That is yours. I wish you well. You need to have that inner dialogue with yourself. This goes back to you. Thank you for the experience, but this is yours. And then you understand this is yours, this is mine. And then you understand what mine is. And even if you've taken some positivity from them, don't feel dependent. That is life for you to take experiences on. You don't have to pay with it for all your pain. It has already been paid for. You've already been through enough. So it's to kind of process this experience in this way. And maybe you've had something positive. Maybe this was your mother. Maybe they gave you food, shelter, your first toy. So that was their responsibility. That was what they needed to do. You don't owe them by staying traumatically attached to them, even through years after you have separated. So it is okay to break free and define yourself and become the shape that you are. So let's just say that they're square, and you are round. So you are not an abuser. You are not controlled. You don't want that sort of trepidation. You don't want that style of relationship. It's okay to say, that is okay. I honor and respect the way that you are. And now, but what's more important is for me to honor and respect who I am. And now I'm set on this path. So even though there's been some of this replaying, I'm now going to alter my blueprint a little bit, and I'm going to break the pattern. I'm going to give myself other emotions and experiences which are positive, and I can share those and have those reinforced with others. And so doing videos like this in the privacy of this video, when you reinforce it with others, when you interact and support, you're creating new neural pathways. Your physiology is changing. But you need to actually change your physiology. You need to get, whether it's exercise, whether it's walking, whether it's becoming aware of your posture and saying, I am safe, I am solid, I am secure, I am free, I am happy, I am beyond judgment, I'm beyond others' judgment, I am beyond others' judgment. They are not the judge of me. I am in control. And it is my standards that I adhere to and I follow and pursue. So once you do that, you do need to speak these Astral Nations into existence. When you do the work, you need to speak them out. So you hear it from yourself rather than hearing all the malarkey from them. You need to speak it out and command your body to feel in the positive. I am beautiful. I am magnificent. I am perfect just the way that I am. I don't need to change a thing. I am okay. And then you need to resonate that. You need to do this work. I call it the Astral Nations because once you speak it out, you're speaking it out. Your ears are hearing it. Your ears are hearing something new. Your ears are like, oh, I get it. But you need to command your subconscious mind, and you need to command your body to feel this way. And when I say command, it's not I am beautiful. You don't say, you have to have emotional energy behind it. Very positive. Pull it up from your solar plexus. And you need to speak it out so that your ears can hear it. If you feel this is strange, this is odd, it actually works because you are showing how serious that you are, that you're now hearing the positive and recycling that within yourself. And then you can hear it physically. You're giving yourself the commands that you did not receive from this person or from this experience. I am lovable. I am a great provider. I am creative. I am loving. I am lovable. I am good. I deserve to have a balanced relationship. I deserve a balanced life. I am giving that to myself now. So when you command that, you're resetting the physiology in your body and in your heart space. So you get that electrical current going, and then you're able to see really what you want and then enforce it. So the junk thoughts, out of here. The Twinkie thoughts, out of here. Ho-hos, dum-dums, whatever, all that junk food. Does that make you feel good? Then why would you ingest it? So it's to say, it is to have command, and when you speak it out, your body feels it. So whether you need to go walking and do this in your car, in your house, you need to speak these affirmations. And I say that because not only does it resonate in the energy, but it resonates into the greater energy of the universe. You're speaking it, you're speaking your truth. And words are law. And so you're speaking your truth into existence. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy to the positive orderly direction. You might get results in one day, 1 week. It might be 6 years later and you go, OMG, peace and harmony. Suddenly the pieces of my life are all coming together. You are right. And it is manifesting. It is congealing. It is gelling. It is congruent. I am living my dream. I am living the good life. And I am okay. And I do this in peace. You do it in balance. So when you live that, it's not the high, it's not the low, it's just, it is what it is. And then you take pride and ownership, and then you recycle that within yourself. And so that removes the anxiety. You know, you can't simultaneously focus on the good and feel that anxiety. The more you speak it out, you are resetting your neurology. And then I deserve to be calm in interaction with others. I deserve to be respected in interactions with others. I deserve to have positive eye contact with others when I interact. I can do this. Yes, I can. I can do this. Just like you're speaking to a little child, I know you can do this. I am here for you. You can do this. I'll be right here. So it's like letting that little child venture out and getting their sense of adventure, but knowing that you're there. So it's an adventure, but even if everything seems too big out there, then you take your baby steps and determine what your baby steps are so it eradicates the anxiety. Maybe it's just going out and getting a cookie and having a quick exchange. Hey, I love your haircut. This is great coffee. Thank you. What do you like? And it's just testing yourself, getting some trial discussions up with others. You'd be very surprised how healthy, open others are. And then you can then interact with the healthy others. Determine for yourself where and who you want to interact with when you go out socially. And once again, it doesn't mean you're going to enter into love relationships right away or work employment situations right away, but you can have a vision around for what you want. So if you would like an office job and you're saying, this is, or I want to have peace back in my office, then get something visual that starts to reinforce that. You have to prime the subconscious mind with the positive images. Is it image of smiley faces, people dancing in the water? Is it, beautiful trees, flowers? Are you going to hang around pictures of lightning, pictures of people fighting, battles? Do you see how that would prime the subconscious mind to be always on edge? You need to prime your subconscious with visions that are positive to you. You actually need to go and gather them and put them around for yourself in your home, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your desk. You need to go and get these and begin to, reinforce that positivity and create the new, stronger cycle, the new neuroplasticity, the new reconnections within the brain itself, which then goes down through the central nervous system and into the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, which is your feeling. It is your, and that's why I recommend the resensitizing of your skin, the eyes, especially the scents that are positive for you. So when you do this, and then becoming mindful and becoming calm, peace in your body is going to be your greatest ally. And then holding your vision up, and then purposely pulling in what is positive, and taking that in, gazing upon the positive, absorbing the energy, looking how beautiful. Oh, I see that reflective rainbow in that crystal glass, or I see that heart that is shimmering. In that picture, I see the heart emanating from that girl, that boy in that picture that I see. That fills me with joy. That floods me with happiness. So when you flood yourself with this and you allow yourself to then hold on to it and then meditate on it, you will begin to reset your heart space into the positive. And as you do that, then you'll begin to exist and spend time in that happy place. So finding your happy space, going out and keeping that structured, making sure you have that happy space. And as you do that, you cast away the darkness, you cast away the evil thoughts, you cast away all the criticism, you let that fade away and it's no longer there. You might want to pull it back in, let it go. Do not pull that back in. Begin to stay with that positivity that you are reinforcing. And then when you do that, that is yours. No one can take that away from you. And then you're able then to bring that to other relationships, and you will then be a match to that energy and that vibration. So you will no longer be a match to the dysfunctional, the drug addicts, the pity party people, the people who want you to be responsible for their problems and then bring you down. You'll no longer walk into the abyss, the mudslide of other people's problems. You'll say, no, thank you, been there, done that, got dirty, got the t-shirt, I'm over here. So it's okay to redirect the course of your judgment center now, which is now taking you into a new direction. So even though that had been repeated and reinforced and rememorized, is to say, okay, I'm no longer memorizing that, and I'm now getting over here. And then it's okay, they might want me to be down, but I'm not getting sucked into all those negative messages. So I'm pulling myself away almost like a suction cup. You need to pull yourself out and then really get that energy feeling where you're pulling yourself up from underneath and getting into that more calmer space, and reaffirming through your Astral Nations, making commands not only to yourself but to the universe at large. I am safe. I am. Those are the root words. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. I am okay. I am following my dreams, and I know that because my dreams are, and my action is taking place within that now. And taking action is so crucial, even if it means taking that feeling of confidence and safety and taking out for little bitty steps, going to a library, going to lunch, being able to take little snippets of it where you're calming yourself down. You're calming that down. You're taking moments of mindfulness, plugging it in at least every, do I need to do it for a few minutes? Do I need to gaze and gain composure now in 15 minutes? How can you reinforce this and then keep that going little by little, and then give yourself what you need. And then do this with repetition and experience. It'll become automatic. So it's kind of like you're going from unconscious, incompetent, meaning anxious all the time, to consciously incompetent. And don't use judgment on the words of competency. This is a stage of growth that I have been taught through previous training in my career. So it's to understand that you go through the stage of what is consciously incompetent, meaning I'm now aware that I want to fix some things. Not that I need, but I want. And then you begin to apply the tools and the skills, calming down, generating that calming energy, just like relaxing the muscles, relaxing the eyes especially, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, especially in the facial area, getting that relaxed, because find where you hold a lot of this tension. Some people hold it in the glutes, some people hold it in the face, some people hold it in the shoulders. Find where you're armoring and just relax, especially the jaw, the forehead, relaxing the ears, the shoulders, whatever it is that tensions and flinches, relax that. These are your cells. This is your mitochondria are in here. Your areola are working in here. Your red, platelets. When you go to the doctor, they're taking your red platelets. They're not taking someone else's. This is yours. So let's claim ownership here. You are what you're looking for. You are the answer. And then, so it is that awareness. And then you're going from, you're applying the tools that now that you've needed to learn, which is okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. No worries. And then you're going to consciously competent, which means you're consciously engaging in the generation of your calm feelings. I'm consciously taking a deep breath. I'm consciously taking a moment to gaze on what I feel is beautiful. I'm consciously smelling the roses. You know, I'm going to go over and I'm actually going to go to the roses by the grocery store. I'm actually going to give myself a moment and I'm going to take those in. I'm going to give myself a moment and look at the beautiful gardens, the beautiful spring that's happening. I'm going to give myself a moment to find that. I'm regaining my will, despite the fact that this person perhaps had, you know, whatever, I am engaging my will. And I'm taking that in, I'm filling in that inner resource. So you're consciously competent. And as you begin to do that again and again and again, that, you know, the amount of time in different stages might take a different amount of time. But as you consciously do that, I'm lighting a candle. I love the glow of that candle. Like just feeling, you're priming yourself, and as I call resensitizing all your senses. In the book that I'm working on, there is a ton of this. And then as you continue on, you might need to stay in that for a day, a week, a month, a couple months. But then you'll become unconsciously competent. Yes, that is correct. Unconsciously competent, which means you're just doing it. You've learned this, it's becoming automatic. You're automatically calm. You're automatically secure. You're automatically safe. You're automatically saying, no, I don't do that. You're automatically saying, yes, I will do that. Your positive early direction thinking has really caught up. It's really working. It's like a well-oiled machine. All the parts are working. You got all the little gadgets and gears. Your thoughts are going. Your feelings are going. Your communication is getting clear. You're not so worried all the time about what you're going to say, what you won't say, what you did, what you didn't do. The worry is non-existent. It's out of your emotional vocabulary. So you're going to go through those stages. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. If you have any questions, just please leave them down below, and we'll address them as we go. I hope these videos help and really are life-changing. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.